This one hurts, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. This one hurts, man. This is not the news I wanted to wake up to, as Caleb Martin has officially signed with the Philadelphia 76ers. And instantly when I saw this notification, all the memories started rushing back to me. Remember the right in Giannis' face? Remember back in 2021 where Caleb Martin single-handedly beat that Bucks ass with no Jimmy Butler? Remember the playoffs versus the Celtics a couple years ago, Game 7, dominated on that stupid park floor in Boston, whatever the hell they call that garbage ass shit. It's ugly as hell. Remember even this past postseason, the fans booing Caleb Martin like crazy. And he said, man, shut your racist ass boos up, man. I'm going to score 20 plus points on your ass. Shooting from 3, lighting it the hell up, man. Damn, I'm going to miss Caleb Martin. You losing the light-skinned bros, man. All of them gone. Gabe, Strus, Caleb, all these guys that were critical components to your finals run just a couple years ago, man. You look back this past postseason, the play-in game versus the 76ers, Caleb Martin. Actually, Caleb Martin had been an op. Caleb Martin gave those fans free chicken. He was always the op. You know how when you playing hoops and you shooting like ass and the other team saying he with us? That's what Philly was saying last year. They were saying he with us. And you know what? You're damn right.
So on second thought, I won't miss you, Caleb Martin. I won't miss you and your traitor ass and your janky ass shot and your toe on the line 3. How about you take 3s like an inch back? How about you step an inch back and stop keeping your damn toe on the line, Caleb Martin? I will not miss your ass. I'm glad you didn't accept the $14.5 million per year we were offering you, because clearly you don't got that Heat culture.
You know, let me stop. I am obviously kidding. I am very happy for Caleb Martin. But then again, should I even say I'm happy for him? Because his agent did an all-time fumble. And if you're Caleb Martin, you might have to throw hands with your agent. So let me kind of catch you guys up on everything that happened here with Caleb Martin's free agency, because it was kind of a lot. So Barry Jackson says that Martin essentially turned down a 5-year, $65 million deal with the Miami Heat. And a week later, he settled for 4 years, $32 million with the 76ers. So basically, as the reporting goes, Jackson also adds on that negotiations were pretty intense with the Miami Heat and Caleb Martin over the last week or two. Essentially, Caleb Martin's camp thought the Heat was being disrespectful with that $65 million deal. The Heat were dumbfounded, as Barry Jackson says, which I get it, because this whole time I thought Caleb would go for about $15 million. That Heat offer averages out to about $14.5, and the agent didn't like that. The agent thought that the Heat was trying to do Caleb dirty, and boy, they fucked around and found out. That's all I'm going to say. I do want to clarify the numbers here, though. So essentially, the Heat's 5-year, $65 million, what that would have been is Caleb Martin opting in to the final year of his contract, which would have been for $7.1 million. So he would have only got 7.1 this offseason. The Heat would not have been a second apron team. And then they would have signed him to a 4-year extension worth, $58 million. So essentially he'd be getting 7.1 this year and an average of 14.5 for the next several seasons. What Caleb Martin ended up signing for was 4 years, $32 million for an average of 8. So just barely over what he would have got if he opted in. But for the next 4 years, it's almost half as much. He's going to be getting $8 million compared to the $14.5 he could have got if he would have just stayed with the Miami Heat and signed that damn extension. And if you want to do overall, if he would have stayed with the Heat, the 5 years, 65, that comes to about $13 million a season. Obviously, that's a lot more than Caleb Martin's $8 million he's going to currently be getting. So his agents absolutely sold. This is like almost a Dennis Schroeder case. Y'all remember a few years ago, Dennis Schroeder declined in a deal with the Lakers or something, thought he'd get more, ended up turning down like $64 million, got like $4 million. I don't remember if that was when he went to the Lakers or Celtics. That man been jumping around a ton. But this is another case of an agent doing an incredible disservice to their player. So while I am happy for Caleb, he did get the most money he's ever made in his career. His agent fumbled because he could have got a lot more, and he could have done it in a place where he wanted to be, because we know Caleb wanted to stay in Miami. A lot of Heat fans are saying that he dodged the bullet, because if the Heat would have gave Caleb, $7 million for this next season, obviously that's not that bad. But in the following 4 seasons, paying him $14.5, is that too much for Caleb Martin? Like I said, I think his market value is about 18, but on a Miami Heat team that doesn't have a lot of cap space as it is, that is something that is a bit concerning. I still don't think they would have been over the second apron, but they wouldn't be able to make some moves that they might be able to make in the future because you have so much money going to Caleb. Because you'd have 15 going to him, 30 going to Tyler, 30 going to Terry, 50 plus going to Jimmy, 50 plus going to Bam. That's your roster. You don't have any moves for major significant upgrades there, and that would have obviously been very tough. Is Caleb Martin's $15 million contract in that, situation tradable? I don't like saying that because this is what we heard back in 2016 when the Heat signed Dion and James Johnson and all those guys. They said, oh, we have tradable contracts. Nobody wanted those bums because you overpaid them way above their market value. So I'm not going to say the Heat dodged the bullet, but I will say they remain a lot of flexibility flexibility in the future by not locking themselves into $15 million a year for Caleb Martin. Now, it does suck. No signing trade is necessary. I was hoping this whole time maybe we would get some sort of asset back. If you remember last year, Max Strus was a part of a 3-team trade to go to the Cavs. So the Cavs offloaded salary to the Spurs, and the Heat got a second-round pick in return. So all that being said, the Heat did end up losing Caleb for nothing. Like a lot of Heat fans were mad what happened because they lost Gabe for nothing. They lost Kendrick Nunn for nothing. And Heat fans will sit here and say, oh, that's bad asset management. How can you lose these guys for nothing? And I'll say, yes, obviously you have a point. I'm not going to say you're wrong. But what you got to look at is in 2023, if the Heat would have traded Gabe and Max at the deadline, then they would have never made the NBA Finals because we know how critical Strus and Gabe were. So what's more important? Is it more important to get a couple of extra second-round picks for trading Gabe Vincent and Max Strus? Or is it important that you made the NBA Finals? Because the way I look at it, making the NBA Finals, I know it doesn't mean shit because you didn't win it. But as far as how your franchise is viewed in the eyes of other players, they view you as a team that is capable of putting together a contender. A guy like Lauri Markkanen might say, hey, I want to go to the Miami Heat because I think I can put them over the top. They've already made the finals without me. Imagine what I can do. A guy like DeMar DeRozan, if the market continues to dry up, we heard some rumors with the Kings, maybe he says, you know what? I'm older. I want to win a chip. I think I can put the Heat over the top. If the Heat would have traded Gabe and Max for a couple second-round picks, they might have got their ass kicked in the first round in 2023. And now nobody's looking at us as a team that could help free agents get to that ultimate mountaintop and win a championship. Plus, like I said, you ended up getting a second-round pick for Max anyways. So all the Heat fans that say in hindsight they should have traded Gabe and Max, I 1,000% disagree. Now with Caleb Martin, in hindsight, they should have traded him because they got their ass kicked in the first round. But at the time, I didn't think they should trade him because you never know if they could have went on some sort of magical run again. It's not worth whatever second-round picks you would have got. Anyway, speaking of the franchise looking good in the eyes of other players, shout out to Naveen for putting this out, who says, if you want to get paid, come to the Miami Heat. Look at this list of undrafted guys that they've helped get absolute bags. Kendrick Nunn, the 2 years, almost $11 million there, he could have got more. If y'all remember, he actually turned down some offers because he wanted to go to the Lakers to compete, which at the time I thought was weird because he was still young. You'd think he'd want to get paid. And the Lakers ended up sucking and being worse than the Heat. But he could have got more, but still $10.5 million for an undrafted guy. Great deal. We know Duncan got his bag. Gabe Vincent, Strus, they got their bags. And Caleb Martin, again, $32 million. Great bag for an undrafted player. But he even could have got a lot more. You could have been looking at the 5 years, 65 there. So I think this is really important when you're talking about guys that might want to take pay cuts to come to the Heat to revitalize their careers. You know, maybe not the stars, maybe the Alec Burks, who I think could have got more money. I think he's better than a minimum player. So now he takes, a 1-year deal with the Heat, sort of a prove-it year. And if the Heat can make some other moves to really be a contender, Alec Burks is a guy that could be a great, rotation bench piece on a contender, and they got him for a discount. Plus, I also think the Heat get their the best pick of the litter when it comes to the undrafted guys. We'll see Kashad Johnson, Zion Pooling later today in the Summer League. Love those dudes. I think they're going to have great, success. I think those are going to be some more undrafted gems. And obviously, I'm sure they had a lot of offers. And they look at these numbers that the rest of the undrafted guys get paid, and I'm sure that helped make their decision to want to sign with the Miami Heat. So you could say that sucks. All these other teams get stars and we get the best undrafted guys. You're damn right. But still a positive, I suppose. As far as the Miami Heat's season, losing all these players, this season coming up, they lost a lot of perimeter defense. Caleb Martin was one of your better ones. Obviously, you lost Gabe a couple years ago. You lost Oladipo, which everyone seems to forget about. He was very good on the defensive end. And now you lose Caleb Martin as well. And you lost DeLon Wright, if I didn't say DeLon already. But you lost a lot of your perimeter defense. Hayward Highsmith being the only one. We don't know if he'll stay or not. And if he leaves, what are the Heat going to do defensively as far as guards? That was all their point of attack defense that is out the door. You got Tyler, Duncan, better, but still, Terry Rozier, he's not as bad as I think some people say he is at perimeter defense, but he's small. That's not what he's known for. He's known to be a bucket. You got Jay Rich, who, as a rookie, as a younger kid, he was very good at defense, especially on the outside. But last year, not as good as you'd hope. I think maybe he can still get back to that. He was dealing with some injuries last year, and he's supposedly fully recovered from his shoulder injury now. But you still need some more help on that end. Obviously, Alec Burks is not clamping anyone up. So don't be surprised if you get a notification saying the Heat signed Marcus Garrett again, even though I saw he was on a summer league with another team. But the Heat got to make some moves because you lost a lot of good pieces. And as it stands right now, they're not a better team than they were last year. Now, if they were more healthy, maybe. But I'm not going to be the guy to say if only they were healthy, because we've been saying that for 5 years. Anyways, that's all I got to say for this video. Make sure to like and subscribe because I'm less than 100 subs away from 5,000. I'm really hyped about that, so I greatly appreciate all the support. I'll come to y'all later today with a video on the Summer League game, so we'll see what happens. This sucks. I'll see y'all. Bye.
Pull up in your city tryna get that dead face. Do it on my own, I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off, yeah, I need a head space. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me.